it was never destined for that. That spot goes to Greta Gerwig this year.
Well, I was actually really surprised that there was Oscar buzz around The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
Before I saw it. Like, I was surprised. And then even after watching it, I was still pretty surprised.
Sure.
Because it's a great movie. Like, it turned out really, really well. It was hilarious, in my opinion. I thought James Franco did an amazing job. And their shots recreation of the room was just, I think, just uncanny. It was crazy. They got the lighting right. They got the colors, everything. It was just, and it was really enjoyable for that. But I still don't, I mean, I know that James Franco just won for Best Actor in the Golden Globes for comedy, not just, not for drama, right? For comedy or musical. But do you think with The Disaster Artist, like the kind of Oscar buzz is warranted? Like, what do you think, Dylan, on that?
I personally think that, I think that as far as Oscar nominations go for The Disaster Artist, we're probably looking at a Best Actor nomination, not a win, because honestly, that's Gary Oldman's race to lose. But James Franco will be nominated. I think the screenplay will be nominated for adapted screenplay, and I think that's about it. I don't think it's gonna squeeze in for a Best Picture nomination. Franco is not gonna get a Best Director nomination. None of the other cast did anything really above and beyond that's gonna get them in there, and it doesn't do anything that amazing for the Tech Awards. So I think actor and screenplay are what we're gonna see. I think James Franco deserves that nomination because I think he did an awesome job, despite the unrelated stuff that's happening in the press with him right now, which doesn't affect the quality of his performance. I think he totally deserves that nomination. I don't think he's going to win, but I would like to see that, and I think he did do an amazing job in, especially, a role that the Academy loves, which is when you're portraying a real person well,
Right.
which he does, and a bonus for it being a filmmaker, if you want to call Tommy Wiseau a filmmaker.
Yes. How did they make James Franco's face look like that? Did they add like prosthetics or like makeup and stuff?
Well, like you can tell he's got like contacts in that change his eyes a little bit and like prosthetics.
His face grew like 3 times in width. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so maybe you'll get a nomination for best makeup.
Best makeup.
If you've ever met Tommy Wiseau and see his face, like you can park a car on it. Like that thing, yeah, it's pretty wide.
Land a plane.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss those. I miss Steven Hillenburg writing that show. Anyway,
what's your story, Sterling?
So I really gotta quickly be the Grinch right here.
Please do.
I thought Disaster Artist was a decent comedy. Mm-hmm. It was a decent Seth Rogen, James Franco comedy movie that happened to be based on a book that is completely overshadowed in the film by the movie that book is based on.
Right.
So basically, I read the book.
As did I, yeah.
And that book is absolutely incredible. It is a scary ass book. Like this, like it makes you really realize, like, do I really want to celebrate this guy? See, even Joseph gets sick thinking of him. But basically, it's like Tommy Wiseau in the book. From all the accounts by Greg Sestero, who plays Mark, of course, in The Room, who wrote it. Goes play by play, explaining just kind of how borderline sociopathic Tommy Wiseau kind of was on set, and just how these mysteries surrounding him are actually unsettling. They're not really novelty basis. It's actually almost, can we call the feds really quick just to make sure he's okay?
Right. Right.
But
well, the book makes it. I mean, you were saying that it's kind of overshadowed by the fact that it's based on The Room or like about The Room, but I feel like without the book, obviously this movie wouldn't exist, but we wouldn't know about Tommy Wiseau, like unless you were just really hardcore and watched some weird interviews or cameos to be like, this guy is actually weird. But no, it's like the fact that it was at the time one of the closest people like working with him and was saying like, no, he's actually crazy. Like he's actually this weird,
like we're good friends,
character.
but he's
Right.
unhinged and don't think twice before working with him, but sure, get a football signed by him. But it's basically like, I guess this has nothing to do with the movie itself. This has everything to do with I keep doing that because he was really good. I keep calling him Tommy. James Franco was basically, I think he handled it incorrectly by not giving Tommy Wiseau nor Greg Sestero any writing credits on this film. It would not be created if it weren't for either of them. There would be no book if it weren't for Tommy. There would be no movie if it weren't for Greg. Greg's why there was a movie. And he wasn't even allowed on the stage to stand next to Tommy during the acceptance when he won. Granted, it's kind of a good idea in hindsight to not let Tommy talk on the mic. But at the same time, yeah, it's completely fine to be conflicted with, like, dude, you literally just won because of him.
Right.
You could let him have the last 5 seconds talking as they play him out.
Yeah.
Don't just all of a sudden grab him and say, okay, we're leaving off stage. I'm done talking. That was what I didn't like. Like, give him the last few seconds as they start to play him out, because they were starting to play him out. Okay, have Tommy come and say like 3 words on the mic at the Golden Globes. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
A lot of people loved each other. The world will be a better place to live.
Yeah.
He actually said that's what he was going to say.
Really?
Yeah. There was an interview he was on. He's like, well, I just wanted to say, basically that a lot of people love each other.
Yeah. Look, at Beyond Fest this year in West Hollywood, I went to go see Greg and Tommy's new movie, Best Friends.
Tell me about that when you're done with this story.
Sure. And when I went to see it, in between that movie and The Room, which they showed a screening of, obviously there, Greg and Tommy came and did the Q&A. And basically, they did a few questions and stuff. Greg got surprisingly more of them since he wrote this movie.
Yeah, he wrote Best Friends, didn't he?
Yeah, which is a cool flip now. And basically, when Tommy got the final question, which was something to the lines of like, so what do you really want to resonate, from your work and stuff, like your legacy, because you have one, believe it or not. That's just how it is. And then his answer was like, well, I don't know about that. All I want to say is if everyone love each other, we'll be a better place. That's all he said. And then he literally says, okay, well, we're done Q&A. Let's play Room. And then like he stopped the Q&A instead of the guys who ran the festival. It's like, it was awesome. And like they were doing like a t-shirt cannon to the audience. And they shot one. And then Tommy said, hold on. He grabbed it and just shot all the rest himself.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, if you're doing something, no, I'll do it because I'm here.
Yeah, right.
Which
and
is
I'm
great.
Tommy Wiseau.
He's kind of like the Hulk in that way, where like the Avengers just kind of aim him in a general direction. They're like, just go. You can't.
Code green. We need Tommy. But yeah. So he's a great presence. He's very animated. He's awesome. But
Probably in small doses, though.
it's very small doses. I've heard a lot of some of my friends who have hosted him at events in San Diego even have said he's kind of a pain in the ass. You just got to know how to work with him, and the hard part is knowing how. There isn't really a way, so it's kind of just tell him when he's done. So James kind of did the right thing, but at the same time, I'm just conflicted because. If you're not going to give him time to talk, at least give him writing credits, because how freaking awesome would it be to have Oscar nominee Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero for adapted screenplay of The Disaster Artist?
Yeah, or they can give him a cameo. I actually think that's going to happen. I think like if they don't get any sort of awards, they're going to have them be like a presenter or like maybe when they do their intros or something, like, hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, like presenting?
Like presenting,
an award.
Right.
They should do that, because there was a petition for that even. There was a petition for getting Greg and Tommy to present something at the Oscars. They didn't even care what.
Any way we can get Tommy Wiseau on stage.
At the Oscars.
At the
That's the one
Oscars.
that matters. Like, who cares what the foreign press... I don't care what they do. They're irrelevant in every way. So it's just kind of... Like, the only thing they're relevant for, really, is helping predict the Oscars. But in a way... again, going back to the movie, really quick, final statement is just good comedy, funny. I was laughing, very inaccurate from the book, extremely inaccurate, hilariously. A lot of things omitted that I think would have been cool, like Tommy getting pissed off when people fart, or the fact that he thought all of his silverware was poisoned and he wouldn't eat on set because he thought everyone's trying to kill him.
Wow.
Or the fact that the first time Greg goes to his house in LA, he immediately gets in-your-face evidence that Tommy very well may be the Zodiac killer.
What?
Yeah, that's literally in the book. That stuff is in the book, but it wasn't in the. It wouldn't make sense, I guess, some of the story plot lines in the movie. But wow, this book is so compelling to show you. Just like this is scary.
That is.
Because yeah, he saw the Zodiac symbol drawn on his car,
Oh, what the heck?
and then Greg just looks at the car. He doesn't say anything. He looks at the car, and then Tommy says, "Oh, I don't know what that symbol is. I see it everywhere. I like it." Like without even saying anything. Well, it's
Wow.
like, why are you trying to have some kind of affidavit here proving you're innocent? I didn't say anything, man. That's kind of a red flag for me.